Hello, and welcome to another episode of Alone in the South Passage, a Star Wars podcast. With me, David, and Stefan. Steph, how are you?
Hello, David. I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. A little break from tradition this week. I say tradition, our 1 month tradition. We're not going to talk about any of the original trilogy this week. Well,
What?
We will probably stray into it a little bit. But last week you will have heard, if you listened to part 1 of our discussion about Return of the Jedi, in which we spoke for approximately 4 days and didn't get out of Jabba's palace. So we're taking a break from that, just for everyone's benefit, including our own. Taking a break from that, and we're going to actually discuss some current affairs with regard to Star Wars, because for those who do not know, it was something called Star Wars Celebration this week. Convention took place. If you do listen to this show and you didn't know that, doesn't surprise me. Steph and I wouldn't have known it this time last year.
Nope.
But we are now aware of these things because we have fully immersed ourselves into the new world of Star Wars and are trying to broaden our view and not just our narrow-minded, myopic view of the original trilogy. Isn't that right, Stefan?
It is right. Yeah. I mean, I think when we started this, we almost had a rule about not doing anything newsy or current in the world of Star Wars, and we've done very well to not talk about anything beyond 1983 for most of the time. But that's changing.
But to moan.
New us. Oh yeah, except for the express purpose of moaning about it. Yeah,
exactly. But here we are. So we've got a lot. Well, I say we've got a lot to cover. It depends what depth we want to go into on each individual thing. But a few things to talk about. Mainly of note, we will be talking about Steph's trip to Star Wars Celebration, which he attended. You attended Friday, didn't you? We won't go into too much detail now because we're gonna talk about that a little bit more in depth.
Okay.
Then we've got a fair bit to cover in terms of new series that have been announced. Then, perhaps most excitingly for me, a new set of films that have been announced.
Yes.
Which we'll see. We'll talk about those a little bit more in a bit. Also, I don't think I'm not actually sure it was part of Star Wars Celebration, but I've seen quite a few places this week confirming, and none of them seem officially coming from Disney or Star Wars or Lucasfilm, that Return of the Jedi will be getting a cinematic release at the end of this month. I don't know. Is that
was
guaranteed?
Confirmed? Yeah.
Was it? Oh,
yeah.
Thank God for that. Was it 28th of April?
Yeah, it's coming out for like 5 minutes. I was shocked and appalled at how few days it is actually going to be out for. It's something like the 28th to the 1st of May or something like that.
Right. Okay. Well, it's long enough for me to see it in the cinema. So as we know, I've never seen an original.
We are actually going to go to the cinema to watch this one.
Oh, mate, I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. It helps that I also get free tickets to the cinema now. So I mean, if I was paying, it might be,
How'd you get free tickets?
I'm not going to go into the boring detail, but it's to do with a loyalty scheme for something else, of which I say free. Let's call it what it is. Complimentary.
Yeah. Okay. You spent a lot of money on something else, and this is one of the perks. Okay. Got you.
Quite. Absolutely. They're not free by any stretch of information. So films, Return of the Jedi.
TV shows,
and also we've done the series, but also as well a first for us this week. We have our very first interview, and we will be having I would say a guest. I've not met this person. I've not spoken to this person. Steph conducted the interview live in person, very well, I must say. So stay tuned for that with a gentleman called Giorgio, who is part of this Italian Star Wars community from Star Wars Libri and Comics. So very much looking forward to hearing that later on. We'll be discussing, obviously, Steph's experience with that and the joys of getting to meet other people from the Star Wars universe. So
indeed,
we will now, without any further ado, one thing we do want to say as part of our intro this week as well, we had some correspondence from listener to the show and friend of ours, Nick, who has had to undergo a medical procedure this week. Sounds like he's doing well, and we wish him all the best in his recovery.
Yeah, get well soon, Nick. Wishing you all the best, mate.
Very good. Very good. So, anyway, without further ado, we will get on with talking through our quite extensive subject matter this week. So, Steph, let's start with you, mate. How was your first experience of a Star Wars convention, essentially?
Well, it isn't though, is it? Remember, I mentioned a little while ago, I went to one when I was 13. It was like a very, very different experience.
Yeah, was that organized by Star Wars though?
Oh, good Lord, no! But it was
like a church hall somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much a function room in Basildon. But that's all we had to go on back then. Because this was obviously in the pre-Disney era where huge events like this just didn't really exist for the express purpose of Star Wars. But yeah, absolutely first time going to one of these enormous convention type things. Never been to Comic-Con or anything like that. This was quite an experience. You couldn't come, so I took my 10-year-old lad with me. He was a very excited companion, something to do on his Easter holidays. And God, it was amazing. I mean, even when you expect a lot of people, your mind still can't quite prepare you for the sheer volume of people that were in this place. I don't think I'd been to the Excel before. If I had, it would have been a trade show with many times less people there. But this was vast. I mean, it was vast. I mean, we got there for opening, and we were still queuing to get to the queues. We had to pre-queue before we could get to the main queues. And because it was quite late doors deciding to go. So we had to pick up our badges there because we didn't get tickets in time to get them sent to us. So that was a queue. And then we got the badges, we got join the other queue. But anyway, once we got in there, just mind blown. First thing I saw was a floating probe droid, which looked completely real and was moving around, making the sounds, full size. Absolutely amazing. So straight away,
Imperial probe droid.
Oh yes,
Didn't hit it very hard. It must have had a self-destruct button.
That's the one. Yeah. Cool. It's a good bet the Empire knows we're here. So that was pretty cool, and that was just in the kind of the foyer area. And we turned into one of the main function rooms, and straight away, full size ATST, done up in like camo stuff. It part of this big Hoth kind of set thing that they had there with the doors where Han gropes Leia and all that kind of stuff. It was awesome.
Are you talking about the South Passage?
No, I'm talking about. Sorry, I've misspoke. There was a set of Hoth.
Jedi. You were talking about Jedi.
This was on Endor.
I was like, why would they have camo on? Why would they have camo on Hoth?
Yeah, well, it's a deleted scene. You wouldn't know about it because you don't know as much as I do about Star Wars. But
not only that, do ATSTs feature in Empire, or is it?
Just they do in the background.
AT-ATs.
You can the AT-ATs.
The AT-AT.
You can see an ATST in the Battle of Hoth. It's in the background, very small, but it is there. Yep.
Are we talking genuine?
Yes, genuine.
Originals?
People, listeners, back me up on this. You can see an ATST in.
I don't care.
Well, why? You should. Let me get back to it. So there was a Hoth thing. There was also an Endor thing, and it was very cool. And there were just tons and tons of merchants. I didn't quite realize how much of it was just kiosks of people selling stuff. And it was, you had to pre-queue and pre-book your place for some of the shops as well. That's how major it was.
But there's like virtual queuing as well, though, because you could.
No. Just lines and lines of people. No.
So it wasn't like you could go, right, I am now 100th in the queue.
No, there's nothing like that.
Else.
You either had to pre-book it before you get there, but when you get there, you still had to queue with all the other people that pre-booked. There was I couldn't see any kind of smart system. It wasn't like Disneyland or anything. Which is a shame. They didn't take
ironic
some ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have borrowed some ideas from some of their other
guys,
IP.
do we know anyone who does these sorts of things? I feel about like, you know.
That's it. We got any
Yeah.
experience in queuing systems in any of the vast Disney franchise?
Yeah.
If only there was some kind of experience we had with lots of people having to go to the same place. But anyway, I wasn't bothered about that. I wasn't there to go shopping, but I had a look at a few shops anyway, because that was what the main thrust of it was. My son was desperate for a lightsaber, but then we saw how much the good ones cost, so we very quickly nipped that in the bud.
Sorry, mate. I need a house. So
yeah. I'm quite
when
fond
you
of
saw how
eating.
much the good ones cost, how much are we talking for like base level decent?
Well, if you want one that you can actually fight with, the Black Series ones, they were called. They were, I think the cheapest was 270, and they were the better ones were over 300.
Okay. All right. That's actually, I'm not about to rush out and buy
You
one.
look like you're up for that.
No, I'm not about to rush out and buy one, but that's not as crazy as I was expecting.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know how much
Missed the
cover
money
crystals are to the gram. Like, but
I don't know if it was
not
that authentic.
No, I was thinking like, four figures potentially.
Oof. Yeah.
But then, I mean,
this
I don't know why
is
they would.
For a child.
Yeah. I mean, who will break it?
Yeah. Within 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, he's older and responsible now. He's fine.
Well, yeah, but you see, the problem was I wanted one as well, so I wasn't about to drop, 600 notes just so we could have a 5-minute fight and smash.
If I'd have been there on my own, I would have paid £300 for one.
Oh, blatantly, yeah.
Not told him I've got it.
Yeah. Wait till he's out of the house.
I like your style.
Anyway, we settled on a, the Mandalorian's got that super long disintegrator gun thing, like the single bullet breech loading weapon.
Yes, you sent me a picture.
Oh yes, you did. Yeah. So he settled on that. He was very happy, and I think we made the right choice because many grown men asked us where we bought it because they wanted similar ones. So we clearly picked up a desirable artifact there.
Good choice. That I thought you were going to say you'd got like the Beskar spear thing. Which,
right, or just like a long stick.
Yeah, but I was about to like
kind of plain,
but cool.
No.
Anyway, yes, a gun. Cool, very nice.
Very. And there's a Nerf gun, but it's so authentic. You can only load one Nerf bullet in it at a time, which is obviously massively ineffectual in any kind of battle, but very similar to what he does in the TV show. So it sacrificed, utility for authenticity.
Absolutely,
but very cool, and he loved it. So, Dad of the Year award right here. What else did we do? I mean, there was loads of extremely overpriced food and massive queues for that food as well, as you'd expect. And
I'm assuming you weren't allowed to take a packed lunch in with you.
Well, actually, we did. We took a bag of stuff that didn't get searched at all. Yeah, a bit worrying actually.
I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing.
Yeah. And in fact, I realized when we got home, they hadn't actually checked our badges. Like they checked our reservation when we picked up the badges, but then when we went through to the other bit, no one actually checked that we had a pass. We just walked in. So
probably used the force, probably.
Yeah, I was just mind tricking our way in.
Are these people lying?
If I'd have thought of that before I'd spent the money on the tickets, because let's face it, it wasn't a cheap thing, and they actually run out of day passes for children, so I had to buy my son a 4-day pass to the event, which only came in about $5 cheaper than an adult day pass. So felt a little bit not so great.
Should be stated in defense of the event. Stefan only bought his tickets like 2 days before. I think had we been on the ball with this a little bit sooner, I mean, I probably would have joined you there, but had we been on the ball, maybe we've been a bit more organised. But
it was only really our grumpy narrow-mindedness that stopped us from booking it months ago, really, wasn't it?
No, not at all. No, it's just no. But it's. I mean, it would be disingenuous of us to pretend that this is our thing and this is like what we get into. And that's not. By the way, that's not to criticize anyone for whom this is their thing. I mean, like the amount of. I mean, the stuff I've seen this week of people at stages and panels and whatever else, and just the sheer joy of on their faces at being able to witness, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen. I mean, a reception Hayden Christensen got was bonkers.
Yeah,
like in a good way, right? There's probably some people who are wondering about just how healthy it is to have such an obsession, but in the moment, but it's no different. It's no different if you are someone who goes to football and you celebrate a goal wildly, or you get angry at a referee or something like that. It's the same thing. So these people should not be judged for having something that they enjoy in their lives.
No, definitely not.
Which is, let's face it, mostly harmless. So anyway.
Yeah, and there is a great feeling when you're there that you're all there with that shared passion, especially as even though you and I have been friends for a long time, we only really kind of combined our love of sci-fi and Star Wars fairly recently. Really, we didn't. It's not something we really shared whilst we were at school, even really, was it? And
no,
I didn't really have anyone. I didn't have a group of friends when I was young that were all into sci-fi and Star Wars. So to be part of this larger family, as they refer to it, is a really special thing.
I'll be honest. I kept, and I'll say this now. I really wish I'd been, I don't know, braver, I guess, when I was a kid with this sort of stuff. Like, because I kept. I'll be honest. I was guarded. I was very guarded with it. I kept my cards close to my chest with a lot of it. I do remember one specific time where I think basically I basically retreated into my shell and was like, right, I put myself out there with regards to Star Wars and was like, not fucking doing that again. But no, I mean, like some people I used to knock about with from school. I won't name any names because they might not want to be mentioned, but like particularly I remember the summer the Phantom Menace came out, and myself and a couple of people we went to school with, played rugby with, who we all lived in Hoddesdon around the same area. We got unlimited cinema passes to.
Oh, I remember that.
I think, was it? It would. I can't remember what the cinema would have been at the time. Was it like? It's the one that basically that corner one on Edinburgh Way in Harlow. That's it's been basically bought by every cinema chain ever.
Yeah, it was a Virgin for a while.
That's it. Yeah, it was a Virgin. So that summer, there was me and a couple of other people that we went to school with, who we went to see the Phantom Menace maybe more than once. Don't judge us. Don't judge us, people.
We were young and foolish.
Well, and like we said before, it was new Star Wars.
It was exciting. It was so exciting.
And we did that, and I think I had an N64 at the time, and we used to go around to my house, and I had the Star Wars Pod Racer game, which
was good.
Oh, it was a fantastic game. Fantastic game. And it was one of the things, I still have something from that to this day, which is I bought it from W.H. Smith's, and in W.H. Smith's that summer, obviously, Star Wars being Star Wars, a lot of merchandise available with it. And if you spent, for every £25 you spent, you got or it might have been 20, 25, it doesn't really matter, around about that amount of money. For every 20 quid, say, you spent, you got a free Darth Maul mug.
Ooh.
So I bought this game. I got 2 Darth Maul mugs.
Whoa. One of which is still, I tell you this thing, right? I don't want to jinx it because I might just drop it and smash it. I still use it. Right? Wow.
It's porcelain? Not. It's a mug. It's made of China.
It's made of mug.
Made of mug material. Some sort of ceramic. But it's, honestly, the colour on it has not faded at all.
That is well made.
Despite the fact it says on the bottom, like literally the lacquer, the polish, like what's it? I can't remember what you call it. Anyway,
Finish.
It's absolutely brilliant. Still brilliant. And despite the fact it says on the bottom of it, do not put this in the dishwasher, which of course it's been in the dishwasher thousands of times in the last 24-ish years. It's still there. But anyway, so I was lucky enough to have that kind of thing. But even still, right, it was nothing. There was no social media, was there? So there was no community to.
It was hard to connect up, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but it's I remember when the special editions came out, and obviously there was a lot of talk about Star Wars, and even school friends who weren't interested couldn't ignore it. And I could see a couple of us were sort of wanted to talk about it and be into it, but then some others would sort of shut us down a bit, and so like you say, a bit guarded, not able to express your full appreciation of it. So so to suddenly be in a room surrounded with thousands upon thousands of people who are just as passionate, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, but all there for that reason, is very special. And you can feel that it kind of just crackles in the air when people are getting excited about the same stuff that you are when you spot that that ATST or whatever it is. It's just like a palpable appreciation that just goes around the room. But there's two more observations I wanted to share about that day. One is being able to confirm that stars, or well, rather, it is required to pay to have photographs taken with stars and to get their autographs. I can
some of them I saw were an eye-watering amount of money.
Yeah.
But it's right. If you're unsure about spending £300 on a thing that is a really good quality piece of equipment that you hopefully will keep and cherish for years, the amount of money you're being asked was it one? I won't mention the actor because I'm not having a go at them personally.
No,
because the market forces and all that. It's and I'd imagine had they charged 50% more, from what I understand, that particular person we're talking about, their queue was still enormous.
Oh yeah,
110 quid.
Yeah,
to get a photo.
Correct. Yeah,
and
to get a photo.
I'm told I've reliably. So I listened to. I'll give them a name check. Fantatrax.
Yeah.
So Fantatrax were doing a bit. Was it Fantatrax or was it Star Wars Explained? There's a couple of other podcasts that I listen to. So Fantatrax.
There's other Star Wars podcasts.
I can't believe we're not the first ones to have this idea.
Whoa!
It baffles me. It baffles me that some other people have decided that Star Wars is worthy of speaking about before us.
Blows my mind. I thought we came up with this idea. I thought we were the first.
Absolutely. Podcasts. There's no one else doing podcasts, surely.
No.
Anyway,
what did they say?
What was my point going to be? Something about photos, people, amount it costs. Right. So this is what I'm relatively reliably informed. So the photos as well. You are literally that amount of money you're paying. You're standing in a queue for ages. You'll wait.
Yeah.
Person there is wait. A person, famous Star Wars character.
Yeah.
Is waiting there. You walk up to him, say hello. Someone snaps. Right, off you go. Next one in. Done.
It's that quick, is it? It's not even
It's that quick. It's
2-minute chat.
So supposedly, but if you pay, let's say you pay less, and you go to someone who's not doing photographs, but they're doing the autograph experience. So you queue up and you go to the table and they sign something and they'll talk. Apparently you get I'm still not saying it's money well spent. It's completely up to you. If this is how you choose to spend your money, it's how you choose to spend your money. But apparently you get a bit of dialogue and a bit of chat because they'll obviously so when they sign it, they're going to personalize it to you.
Stuff. Yeah.
Like, who are you? Where have you come from? You'll get a bit of chat out of them. And you might get somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute. It's still not great, but supposedly,
sounds like more value though.
Yeah, exactly. You could just at least you can say like
I could just Photoshop a picture.
Exactly. I mean, this is. I mean, do you think that you're paying, like I said, it was 110 quid for that person?
Yeah.
And that when, I mean, you not to give away where they possibly live, you might bump into that person in the West End somewhere, and just be like, "Hi, do you mind? Can we have a selfie?
A quick picture." Yeah.
99 times out of 100, they're going to say yes.
Yeah. Do you think they pull out like a card machine if you do? They keep it on them at all times. So if you see them in the street, they can whip out
these are my PayPal details. If you mind just transferring the money,
please. You what?
Can you make sure? Are you a UK VAT payer? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, good. Yeah, that makes all the difference.
Do you want to do gift aid on that?
Yeah. It's all for charity. All for charity. I mean,
I'm a registered charity.
Who's to say that person or those people are not kicking some back to charity? I don't know, but anyway, but it's as I say, it's market for. I'm not judging them. It's market forces.
No,
it is
not
what
at
it
all.
is.
No.
The whole to be sure when you're talking about the event as a whole, to moan about someone charging a bit too much for a photo. Yeah.
It's just,
I mean, that's what it's there for, right? The whole thing.
Exactly.
They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart, are they?
No, absolutely not. I think really what the point is, you and I just are a little naive about this stuff because it's not the world we're used to. We're just getting into it, dipping our toes in. It's just something that's stood out to us that's how it goes. But
quite. Anyway, was there another observation you had?
There was observation number one. Yeah, but just to close off that previous point, we could see the stars from afar, so we got to see the famous people from a distance. So that was great. Was happy with that. But just wanted to point out some of the amazing costumes that people come in their cosplay. They look movie quality. A lot of these costumes, you could tell some of them have it's a real labor of love. Some of them are going to be homemade, and they've put a lot of time and effort into those. But any lingering doubts that you may have about Boba Fett not being a popular character would be dismissed instantly when you looked in that room and could at any time see a dozen Boba Fett.
Where have these lingering doubts come from? What have I said that makes you think I have any doubts about him being a popular character?
Well, things have been said, blows have been struck, shots have been fired. So
I've never said I didn't like him. I've never said he didn't justify cult status. For me, he's more of a cult figure. That's my because he's, or at least he used to be. I don't know, but he's
well, there's lots and lots of Boba Fett's out there. Lots of Mandalorians as well, Mandos.
Yeah.
Lots of that. But amazing costumes. Absolutely, we're not talking professional people who are there, being paid, bringing their stuff from their set or whatever. This is fans like you and I who just have created or purchased and. But it was so hot there. I could barely walk around. I mean, I'm a sweaty man at the best of times. I sweat in a snowstorm. So a t-shirt and jeans was plenty for a capacity room of thousands of people. Never mind being in, I don't know, 10 pounds of armor or whatever it might be. So massive shout out to those guys
and the rest
that do that.
And the rest. 10 pounds is nothing. I would imagine they've been. Yeah, they've also probably got like full underlayer. Then like a long, what is effectively long sleeve t-shirt, I guess, over the top.
Yeah.
Then a bit and a helmet.
Oh, I can't imagine the sweatiness must have been going on in there.
I mean, being a Mandalorian, never taking your helmet off. Come on, mate, give yourself a break.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, stuff.
Come on, guys. It's not that serious. Yeah. But fantastic day. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought I'd be there all day. Turned out 6 hours on your feet, walking around all that stuff is absolutely plenty. We were done by 4 o'clock. We didn't make it to any of the proper panels type things. Again, you either had to pre-book those or have special wristbands or be willing to queue for 1,000 years or whatever. But we did make it into one of the smaller panel shows that was going on elsewhere in the building, and we'll come back to how that turned out.
Okay, well,
that'll be later.
Absolutely. Steph's referring to the interview he did with Giorgio from Star Wars Libre and Comics, which will feature later on in the episode. So now that seems like a sensible time to take a quick break. We have covered, obviously, Steph's experience of Star Wars Celebration, which, by the way, actually, quickly, before we do go on to the next thing, it won't have escaped anyone's attention. Well, it might have escaped your attention, I don't know. In 2 years' time, Star Wars Celebration is in Japan.
Ooh, start saving.
I don't know do I need to pay my mortgage?
No.
I don't know. I could get away with a couple of months of not paying it, right? Bank statement sort of thing.
Oh, they're totally cool with that stuff.
Yeah, I've heard they're pretty chilled,
Yeah, it's fine. They'll understand when we tell them what it's for. Yeah,
I'll have a chat with them. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so 2 years. I don't think it's on the cards for me, but we'll see. It's quite a long trip for who knows? Who knows, Steph? Yeah. By then, word of this podcast will probably have got to Lucasfilm, and they'll be like, these guys, we need to get these guys over.
You've got to pay them to go out there to cover it. They've seen our journalistic skills. They know what we're about.
But like, lower down the bill will be Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, and then it'll be us headlining, I'd imagine. I mean, I can't see why that wouldn't work. Either way.
Anyway.
But yeah, so excited about that. If there was any chance of ever going, we'll see. Right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we will come back in a minute where we will start talking about some of the news that came out of Star Wars Celebration, which is, again, new territory for us because we've never really covered it. But there's some stuff that we're genuinely excited about. Certainly I am.
Yes, very exciting.
We'll see what Steph has to say.
We will.